When my daughter-in-law served me soup at dinner, I noticed it on the first spoonful. That metallic taste. As someone who worked as an ICU nurse for 40 years, I knew exactly what I was eating. Heavy metal poisoning. But I didn't put the spoon down. I finished the soup, smiled, and said, "It was delicious, Amanda. Thank you so much." Because I couldn't let her know I'd noticed. Not yet. If you're watching this video, please like it, subscribe to the channel, and tell me in the comments where you're listening to my story from. I want to know how far it has reached. My name is Margaret Whitmore, but everyone calls me Maggie. I'm 68 years old, and exactly 6 months and 12 days ago, I realized I was planning my own death. No, not suicide. I was planning to survive because I needed to stop someone who was trying to kill me. But let me start from the beginning. I worked as an ICU nurse at Boston General Hospital for 40 years. I cared for thousands of patients. Some recovered, some didn't. But I learned something from each one. I memorized medications, learned dosages, recognized symptoms. A person's body always tells you the truth. You just need to know how to listen. My husband Harold and I were married for 45 years. He was a good man, an engineer, patient, always supportive. He had a heart attack 3 years ago. We didn't make it to the hospital in time. He died in my arms, in our kitchen, while making his morning coffee. Our only son Daniel was 35 at the time. He worked at a marketing firm in New York. He came for Harold's funeral, stayed with me for 2 weeks, then went back. I continued living alone in Boston. I wasn't lonely, actually. I had neighbors, old colleagues, my book club. I was living a happy life in my small house. But Daniel constantly worried. "Mom, you're not safe there alone," he'd say during every phone call. "The yard work, house maintenance, how are you going to handle all that?" "Daniel, I'm 68, not 98, I'd say with a laugh. "I'm managing the yard work." But something happened last March. I slipped and fell in the kitchen while making dinner. Nothing was broken, just a hard fall. But my knee bruised badly. My neighbor, Mrs. Patterson, found me on the floor and panicked. She called an ambulance, called Daniel. Daniel flew in that night. He was by my side at the hospital, worried even when the doctor said everything's fine, just a fall. "Mom, you can't live alone in this house anymore," he said, holding my hand. Amanda and I talked. "Come stay with us. We have a guest room in our New York house. Please. Amanda, my daughter-in-law." Daniel and Amanda had gotten married 2 years earlier. I hadn't attended the wedding. Harold was in intensive care at the time, his final days. I only knew Amanda from photos. Long blonde hair, delicate, beautiful. Daniel looked so happy with her. "Daniel, you're newlyweds," I said. "You don't want an old woman moving into your house?" "Mom, Amanda said she wants you there. She even prepared the guest room for you. Please." I could never forgive myself if something happened to you. I finally agreed. Maybe I was tired of the loneliness. Maybe I missed being near my son. I moved in the second week of April. Daniel came, helped me pack. I didn't take much. My clothes, a few books, Harold's photos, and most importantly, my medical notes and reference books from my hospital years. I always kept them with me. Amanda greeted us at the door. She was smiling, arms open. "Welcome, Mom," she said, and hugged me. It wasn't a warm hug, but it was polite. Their house was beautiful. In the suburbs, 2 stories, large yard. The guest room was upstairs. I could see the trees from the window. The walls were light blue. The bed was comfortable. There was even a small desk. "I hope you like it," Amanda said, pausing at the threshold. This is your room now. The first week was wonderful. Amanda made me coffee and toast every morning. In the afternoons, we'd sit in the garden together, watching the flowers. When Daniel came home in the evenings, the three of us would have dinner together. We'd chat, watch old movies. "See, Mom, this worked out great," Daniel said one evening, smiling. "Having you here is wonderful. Amanda's very happy too." Amanda was washing dishes at the time, turned around and looked at me. There was something in her eyes, a momentary cold expression, but it passed so quickly I wasn't sure. The second week, small changes began. Amanda stopped making me coffee in the mornings. "Sorry, Mom, I'm very busy today," she'd say. We no longer sat in the garden. "I have a headache, need to rest a bit," she'd say. Daniel started coming home later. "Work's busy," he'd say. But one evening, when he came home early, Amanda shot him a cold look at the door, as if she was bothered by him coming early. The third week, everything changed distinctly. One morning at breakfast, Amanda gave me my vitamins, a small orange box with multivitamin pills inside. "You need to take these, Mom," she said, placing them next to my plate with water. "Vitamin supplements are important at your age." "Thanks, Amanda, but I already take my own vitamins," I said. "These are better," she said, her voice slightly harsh. "Daniel specially ordered them. Please take them." Daniel looked up from behind his newspaper. "Mom, Amanda's right. These are very good vitamins. A friend recommended them." I didn't want to argue, didn't want to create tension. I took the pill and swallowed it. From that day on, the same ritual repeated every morning. Amanda would bring the vitamins, I'd swallow them. The fourth week, the first symptoms began. When I woke up in the mornings, I felt dizzy, a slight nausea. In the afternoons, I felt so tired, as if I hadn't slept at all. At night, my sleep was broken. I'd wake up frequently, sweating. I'm getting old, I thought. Maybe Daniel was right. Maybe I couldn't live alone anymore. The fifth week, the symptoms increased. White lines started appearing on my nails. My hair was falling out more than normal. I'd see clumps on the pillow in the mornings. My stomach was constantly upset. I felt nauseous after every meal. Daniel noticed. "Mom, you don't look well," he said one evening with concern. "I'm just a little tired," I said. "It'll pass." "Maybe you should see a doctor," Amanda interjected, a fake concern in her voice. "I've been saying the same thing, Daniel. Mom needs to get a checkup. She's getting older. It's normal." The next day, Amanda took me to the doctor. A young doctor, Dr. Morrison. He examined me, took blood tests. "Everything seems consistent with your age, Mrs. Whitmore," he said. "Get some rest, drink plenty of water, keep taking your vitamins." Keep taking your vitamins. On the drive home, Amanda was at the wheel. She looked at me through the side mirror, and I saw a slight smile. Very brief, very subtle. But it was there. That night, sitting alone in my room, I started thinking. My symptoms, their timing, when they started. 3 days after I started taking the vitamins, I stood up, opened my desk drawer. My old medical notes from Harold's time were there. Toxicology information I'd collected over the years, drug interactions, poisoning symptoms. I read for hours. I researched the white lines on my nails, mace lines, hair loss, nausea, fatigue. They were all signs of heavy metal poisoning, specifically arsenic. No, I thought. This is crazy. Amanda wouldn't give me arsenic. This is just paranoia. I'm getting old, getting sick, that's all. But a nurse has instincts. After 40 years of observing people, you learn to read body language. You recognize when someone is lying. The next morning, when Amanda brought the vitamins, I was careful. "Good morning, Mom. Your vitamins," she said as usual. Thanks, Amanda, I said, taking the pill, but I didn't swallow it. I hid it behind my teeth, swallowed the water, then gently spit it into my napkin. After Amanda left the kitchen, I carefully examined the pill. The exterior looked normal: yellow coating, standard multivitamin appearance. But the weight was odd. It was slightly heavier. I put the pill in a small plastic bag and hid it in my drawer. That day, while Amanda was at the grocery store, I went into her room. My heart was pounding. This was wrong, I knew. But I needed to know. In their bathroom, under the sink, behind the cleaning supplies, I found a box. I opened it. Inside was a white powder, unlabeled. Next to it were pairs of small gloves, purple, latex. Why would a housewife have latex gloves next to cleaning supplies? And why unlabeled white powder? I took a sample, with a plastic spoon, just a little, put it in another bag. When I returned to my room, my hands were shaking. I sat down, tried to breathe. Calm down, Maggie, I told myself. Collect evidence. Be sure. Then act. The next day, after Daniel went to work and Amanda went to her Pilates class, I opened the computer. I'd used hospital systems for years. I was good with technology. I emailed a friend, Dr. Ellen Park, an old colleague, now working in a toxicology lab. Ellen, I'm going to send you a sample. Can you analyze it? Private, no official report, just for me. I have a suspicion. Ellen replied within an hour. Sure, Maggie, send it. But is everything okay? I hope so, I wrote. I sent the samples, the vitamin and the white powder, to Ellen's lab via FedEx. I used my neighbor's address as the sender. I didn't want Amanda to see it. The next 3 days, I waited. Every morning I pretended to take the vitamins but hid them behind my tooth and later flushed them down the toilet. I tried to act normal around Amanda, but her eyes were watching me. Always. The 4th day, Ellen called. Maggie, I examined the samples, she said, her voice serious. Sit down, please. Tell me, Ellen. The vitamin capsule. It has vitamins, but there's something else. Arsenic trioxide. Low dose, but when taken continuously, it creates a cumulative effect. Chronic arsenic poisoning. It can be fatal. My breath caught. I knew it, but hearing it was different. Is the white powder the same thing? Yes. Pure arsenic trioxide. Maggie, where did this come from? Is this a serious situation? Ellen, thank you. I'll handle it. Please don't tell anyone about this call. Maggie, I hung up. My hands were shaking, but not from fear this time. From anger. My daughter-in-law was trying to kill me. Systematic, planned, slow murder. That night at dinner, Amanda made me soup. Tomato soup, hot, smelled good. She placed the bowl in front of me, smiling. Special recipe, Mom. I hope you like it. I took the spoon, brought the soup to my lips. On the first spoonful, I noticed it. That metallic taste. Slight, most people wouldn't notice. But I'd prepared medications for 40 years. I recognized it. She'd put arsenic in the soup too, but I didn't say anything. I finished the soup, smiled. It was delicious, Amanda. Thank you so much. Daniel looked at me. Mom, you look pale. Are you okay? I'm fine, son. Just a little tired. Amanda looked at me, that expression in her eyes, as if she was waiting for me to feel sick, vomit, faint. But I didn't, because I hadn't drunk that soup. When I brought the spoon to my mouth, I'd touched it to the tip of my tongue and slid it back. A trick I'd learned in nursing. Patients sometimes did the same when they didn't want to take medicine. I could feel Amanda watching me. She was testing me. That night in my room, I sat and began planning. I could go to the police. But what would I say? My daughter-in-law is poisoning me? What was the evidence? Ellen's analysis was unofficial, inadmissible in court. Amanda would deny it. I'd be seen as a paranoid old woman. Number. I needed a better way. I had to beat her at her own game. The next morning, when Amanda brought the vitamins, I acted normal. I took them, swallowed them. But actually, I'd hidden them behind my tooth again. "Mom, how are you feeling today?" she asked, fake interest in her voice. "A little tired, Amanda, but I'm fine. Maybe we should go to the doctor again. The vitamins might not be enough." "Maybe," I said quietly. That day after Amanda left, I took action. First, I needed to get my own blood test done. Official, on record. I went to Dr. Morrison, made an appointment. "Dr. Morrison, I haven't been feeling well lately. I want a detailed blood test, especially heavy metal screening." The doctor looked a bit surprised. "Heavy metals? Why, Mrs. Whitmore?" "Just to be sure. I worked in a hospital for 40 years. I know the risk factors." He took blood, ordered the tests. Results would come in a week. Second step, collect evidence. I went into Amanda's room again. This time I was careful, photographed everything. The white powder box under the sink, the purple gloves, and most importantly, I found Amanda's diary. In the bedroom drawer, hidden under clothes. A small, leather-bound notebook. I opened it. The first page froze me. Plan. 6 to 8 weeks. Slow, must look natural, like old age complications. I turned the pages. There were dates, dosages, symptom notes. Week 3, hair loss started. Perfect. Week 4, nausea increased. Doctor said aging, going well. Week 5, too slow, need to increase dosage. The last page was the most horrifying. Insurance, $250,000. Daniel put everything in my name. When the old woman's gone, our life will be better. My hands were shaking so badly I almost dropped the notebook. My daughter-in-law wasn't just killing me. She was planning to steal my son's insurance money, too. I photographed every page, with my phone, from every angle. Then I put the notebook exactly where I found it. Third step, hidden camera. I ordered a small security camera online. I didn't use Daniel's credit card, used my own old one. The camera arrived in 3 days. I picked it up from the door when Amanda wasn't home. I placed it on one of my bedroom shelves, behind the books. It faced the door. It would record anyone who came in. Fourth step, set a trap. While Amanda brought vitamins every morning, I put my plan into action. I bought a small bottle, placebo vitamins, just cellulose. They looked exactly like Amanda's vitamins. When Amanda wasn't home, I replaced the contents of her vitamin box with my placebos. Now she wasn't giving me real poison, just harmless cellulose. But I'd pretend to swallow them every morning, and as days passed, I'd get better, because I wasn't taking poison anymore. Amanda would get suspicious. "Why isn't she dying?" she'd ask. She'd make a mistake, and I'd be ready. The first week, nothing happened. Every morning I pretended to swallow the vitamin. Amanda watched, as usual, but I wasn't sick anymore. On the contrary, I felt a little better each day. My hair loss decreased, my nausea passed, my energy returned. Daniel noticed. "Mom, you look so much better," he said one evening, smiling. "I feel much better too, son." Amanda looked at me. There was confusion in her eyes. And something else. Worry. The second week, Amanda tried to increase the dosage. Of course, she didn't know the vitamins were now placebos. One morning, she brought 2 pills. "Mom, the doctor said to increase to 2. "Which doctor, Amanda?" "Dr. Morrison. I spoke with him on the phone yesterday." She was lying. She hadn't spoken with Dr. Morrison. I checked. "Okay," I said, and swallowed both pills. Both were placebos. Harmless. The third week, Amanda started getting tense. One day I heard her in the kitchen on the phone. She'd lowered her voice, but I could hear. "She's not dying. I don't understand. I increased the dosage so much, but she looks better. Maybe we need to find another way." Who was on the phone? Who was Amanda's partner? I checked my hidden camera. I'd captured a recording one night. Amanda had entered my room while I was sleeping. She'd lifted my pillow, looking for something. Then she'd opened my drawer, checked my vitamin bottles. She was getting suspicious. The plan was falling apart. The fourth week, Dr. Morrison called. "Mrs. Whitmore, your blood test results came in. Please come to my office." I went the next day. Amanda wanted to come with me, but I refused. "I want to go alone, Amanda, don't worry." Dr. Morrison looked serious. "Mrs. Whitmore, the results are concerning. We detected high levels of arsenic in your blood, signs of chronic exposure. This is very serious." "I know, doctor." "How do you know?" "Because I was a nurse, and because someone is poisoning me." Dr. Morrison's face went pale. "What?" "Who are you living with?" "My son and daughter-in-law." "But my son doesn't know. Only my daughter-in-law." "You must report this to the police immediately." "I will, doctor. But first I need to gather solid evidence. This blood test result is a start. Can you write an official report? It needs to be valid for court." "Of course. But Mrs. Whitmore, stay safe. This woman is dangerous." "I know, that's why I'm being careful." I took the report, went home. Amanda was waiting at the door. "How did it go, Mom?" "What did the doctor say?" "Everything was fine, Amanda. Just old age." I saw confusion on her face. It wasn't the answer she expected. That night when Daniel came home, Amanda had a heated argument with him. The doors were closed, but voices could be heard. "I can't take this anymore, Daniel. Your mother can't be here. She's taken over the house." "Amanda, she's my mother. She's sick, old. Where would she go?" "To a nursing home." "We're young. We should be living our lives." "We'll discuss this later." The next morning, Amanda brought me something different. Tea. "Mom, I made you special tea. Calming, it'll be good for you." I took the tea, smelled it. She'd mixed something in. It had a smell, like almonds. Cyanide? No, she wouldn't go that far. Maybe sleeping pills. Maybe more arsenic. "Thanks, Amanda," I said. I took a sip, but didn't swallow. Held it in my mouth when Amanda turned, poured it into the potted plant. But Amanda didn't turn. She was watching me, in the mirror. Our eyes met. And in that moment, she understood everything. Amanda slowly turned. Her face was frozen. No more smile. No more fake politeness. "You know," she said. It wasn't a question. It was a statement. "Yes, Amanda. I know." "Since when?" "Since the 5th week. Since the night I noticed the metallic taste in the soup." Amanda leaned against the table, crossed her arms. She wasn't scared anymore. She was angry. "So, you're not stupid after all." "I was a nurse for 40 years, Amanda. I recognize poisoning symptoms." "Then why didn't you go to the police?" "Because I wanted to catch you in your own web. Because I wanted to expose not just you, but your entire plan." Amanda laughed. A cold, harsh laugh. "What plan?" "This is an old woman's paranoia." "What's your proof?" I put my phone on the table. Opened the screen. Photos of her diary were there. This, in your own handwriting, your own words. Plan, 6 to 8 weeks. Slow, must look natural. The insurance money, everything. Amanda's face went ashen. "And this," I said, showing the second photo. "The arsenic trioxide under the sink. Lab analysis done, official report available." "And this," I said, opening the third file. "Dr. Morrison's blood test report. High levels of arsenic in my blood. Chronic exposure. Admissible as evidence in court. Amanda was trembling. You planned everything. Yes, just like you planned to kill me. Daniel won't believe you. You're an old woman. Your mind is confused. Daniel doesn't need to believe me, I said in a calm voice. The police need to believe me. And the evidence is very clear. Just then, the door opened. Daniel had come home early. He stood in the kitchen, looked at both of us. What's going on here? Mom, are you okay? Amanda immediately put on her mask. Tears came, her voice trembled. Daniel, your mother is accusing me of terrible things. She says I'm poisoning her. Look what she's become. She's paranoid. Amanda, stop, I said, my voice cold. Daniel, sit down, please. I need to tell you something. Daniel sat at the table, his face worried. Mom, what's going on? I gave him my phone. Read. Everything's here. Daniel started reading the diary photos. His face changed. First shock, then disbelief, then fear. This is Amanda's handwriting, he said in a trembling voice. But, no, this can't be possible. Daniel, you have to believe me, Amanda started. Shut up, Daniel yelled, maybe for the first time in his life. Did you write this? Did you plan to kill my mother? Amanda stopped crying. The tears in her eyes dried, and something changed. The mask completely dropped. Yes, she said in a cold voice. Yes, I did. Because she shouldn't have been here. This is our house, our life. But you invited her, and she was never going to leave. Daniel jumped to his feet. Are you insane? She's my mother. She was a burden, Amanda screamed. Old, sick, always here. And we needed the insurance money. Work is terrible. We have debts, but you don't tell me anything. Debts? Daniel's voice was shaking. What debts, Amanda? Amanda went silent. She'd said too much. I spoke. Daniel, she spent $80,000 on credit cards in the last 6 months. Luxury shopping, casino trips, vacations with another man. Daniel turned to me. How do you know? I investigated. There were bank statements in Amanda's room and messages on her phone with someone named Michael. Amanda's face turned bright red with anger. How did you look at my phone? Your PIN code is your birthday, Amanda. It wasn't very hard. Daniel collapsed into the chair. Michael, your ex-boyfriend? Were you seeing him? Amanda didn't answer, but the expression on her face was enough. For 6 months, I said quietly. Amanda got back together with Michael. She's been financing him with your money. The plan was, I die, it looks natural. The insurance money comes. Amanda divorces you and goes with Michael. Daniel put his head in his hands. I can't believe this. I can't believe this. You have to believe it, I said. Because it's real. And now you need to decide. Either you call the police, or I will. Amanda jumped to her feet. Call the police? Stupid old woman. Who's going to believe you? Your mind is confused. You're on medications. There's Dr. Morrison's official report. There's the lab analysis. There's your diary. There's the hidden camera recording. Yes, Amanda. I recorded the night you came into my room. I have everything. Amanda's eyes widened. She understood the trap. She was completely cornered. Daniel, she said, her voice pleading now. Daniel, please. I made a mistake, okay? But I love you. I did this for you. For us. For me? Daniel yelled, jumping to his feet. You were going to kill my mother for me? You're insane. You're a sick person. He grabbed his phone, called 911. Amanda panicked. She ran to the door, but Daniel grabbed her arm. "Don't go," he said, his voice ice cold. "You're staying here until the police arrive." The police arrived in 15 minutes. 2 officers, 1 woman, 1 man. I presented all the evidence: diary photos, lab analysis, Dr. Morrison's report, hidden camera recording, and the arsenic sample I'd taken from under the sink. The female officer, Officer Sarah Chen, carefully examined everything. "Mrs. Whitmore, these are very serious accusations," she said, "but your evidence looks very solid." Amanda tried to deny it. "I didn't do it." "That old woman's mind is confused." "Ma'am," Officer Chen said, "if this isn't your handwriting, we can do handwriting analysis. We'll also get a search warrant for your house. We'll test the substance under the sink ourselves." Amanda went silent. She knew there was no escape. "Amanda Richards," the male officer said, "I need to arrest you for attempted murder and embezzlement. You have the right to remain silent." The handcuffs went on. Amanda looked at Daniel one last time. "Daniel, please, believe me. I can't say anything to you anymore," Daniel said, tears in his eyes. "You tried to kill my mother." "My mother?" Amanda was taken to the police car. Neighbors had come outside, watching. They'd seen the whole drama. Daniel and I stayed in the house. For a long time, neither of us spoke. Finally, Daniel started crying. "How, Mom? How did I not notice? How was I so blind?" I sat next to him, held his hand. "Daniel, you loved her. Love makes people blind. Amanda was a very good actress. Even I believed her in the first weeks. But you noticed." "Why didn't I?" "Because I observed people for 40 years, son. When patients lied, I knew. When they tried to hide symptoms, I noticed. That was my profession." Daniel rested his head on my shoulder, just like he did when he was little. "I could have lost you, Mom. If you hadn't noticed, I would have lost you." "But you didn't," I said, stroking his hair. "I'm here. And I'm safe now." Amanda's trial lasted 3 months. The prosecution used all my evidence: the diary, blood tests, camera recordings, arsenic analysis. Amanda's lawyer tried an insanity defense, but the jury didn't believe it. Michael, Amanda's boyfriend, was also arrested as an accomplice. Their messages were found. They'd planned it together. At the hearing, the judge asked Amanda, "What would you like to say, Mrs. Richards?" Amanda stood up. She thought for a moment. Then she looked at me. "I'm sorry," she said. But there was no remorse in her eyes, only anger. She was sorry she got caught, not for what she did. The judge announced the sentence: 25 years, parole possible after 15 years. Amanda turned and looked at me one last time. "You won, old woman," she said. "Are you happy?" "I'm not happy, Amanda," I said. "I'm just alive." 6 months later, Daniel and I moved to a new house. He sold the old house. There were too many bad memories there. We settled into a small but warm house close to downtown. It was enough for the 2 of us. Daniel filed for divorce. Amanda signed while in prison. It was all over. One evening at dinner, Daniel asked me, "Mom, weren't you ever scared? For 6 weeks you were being poisoned, living in the same house with Amanda, weren't you ever scared?" "Of course I was scared," I said. "Every night when I went to sleep, I was scared I might not wake up in the morning. But if I didn't act because of fear, she would have won." "You're incredible, Mom. You're 68 years old and you stopped a planned murderer." I laughed. "I'm old, Daniel, not stupid. Age is just a number. Experience, knowledge, that never ages." Daniel squeezed my hand. "I'm lucky to be your son. And I'm lucky to be your mother." 6 more months passed. I'm 69 now. My health has completely recovered. The effects of arsenic are slowly leaving my body. My hair is growing back. My nails have returned to normal. Daniel started dating someone new, a woman named Emily, a teacher. Kind, genuine. The first time she came to our house, she was very nervous. "Mrs. Whitmore, Daniel told me everything. I hope you don't judge me too harshly," she said. "Why would I judge you, Emily?" I said, smiling. "You're not Amanda. Every person is different. I know, but you went through a terrible experience. It's normal that your trust in people would be diminished." "No," I said. "One bad person doesn't represent all humanity. Yes, Amanda was bad, but there are good people in the world like Emily." Emily's eyes filled with tears. "You're such a strong woman." "I'm not strong, dear. I just learned to survive." Now, if you've listened this far, maybe you're wondering, "Maggie, if you could live it again, what would you do? Could you do the same things?" My answer is yes, I would. Because staying silent meant death. Taking action meant survival. But I wish it had never happened. I wish Amanda had really been a good person. I wish Daniel had had a happy marriage. But that's life. Sometimes people seem to love you, but really, they love your money. Sometimes behind a smiling face are dark plans. The most important lesson I learned is this: trust is important, but blind trust is deadly. Keep your eyes open, listen to your instincts, and never be afraid to protect yourself. I was a nurse for 40 years. I healed people, but in the end, I needed to heal myself. And I did.